I request Professor Harbir Singh to please say a few words.
Good morning, everyone. I also join our student organizers in welcoming you to the What in India Economic Forum, the 21st edition. It is my distinct honor to be here in front of you today to talk about business and the professionalization of management, innovation, and the creation of economic value globally. Wharton hosted its first India Economic Forum 21 years ago in Philadelphia. It was the first business school to actually undertake such an event. And I think it was the vision of the student organizers, and of course we were involved as faculty. I was privileged to be part of the group, to really think about India's role in a global economy and how post-liberalization India would be not just a destination, but also a driver of innovation and new business practices. The concept of the conference really has stood the test of time. India has evolved, and as India has evolved, the conference has evolved. So the conference has now gone to thinking about business models that actually emerge here, and also think about business challenges that emerge here and in parts of the world that are similar to India. If you think about India as one of the youngest countries in the world, you think about India as one of the largest consumer markets in the world, and with more purchasing power in the pockets of customers, how much bigger the Indian market would be than even the EU as a whole. There's no question that that promise is within our grasp today. And so as we think about the content of this forum, we are thinking about business models that apply for the future. We're thinking about smart cities. India is a place where innovation in urbanization has to and will take place, because India has the most complex and also the most promising opportunities in this area. India also has the most promising areas in places like biometrics and its impact both on identification of people, but also in terms of business models that are related to biometrics, new forms of payment, the digitization of currency, which is already happening and with an impetus from the government, but in fact was a trend that was happening anyway. I would quote Mr. Ajay Banga, the chairman of MasterCard, who talked about the fact that cash is no longer the instrument of the future, that cash is expensive, and that digitization has to be part of the answer. If you think about where all the programming takes place for all those apps, for all those new business models, where does it take place? It takes place in India. And so if you think about that, which was formerly an outsourcing story, is now much more a sort of an engine of value when you look out into the future. And the other place besides digitization, smart cities, you can think about also consumer markets and the rise of the informed consumer with real purchasing power in India, and how it will influence consumer tastes and product standardization around the world. And again, I think this is one reason why we're having this forum here in India. We were the first school to have a forum in the US to celebrate the opportunity in India. And now we're the first school among the top business schools in the US to actually have a forum here where the opportunities exist and where markets and consumers and innovators all intersect. For me, I think one of the interesting things is the venerable Taj Mumbai, where this conference is being organized, and I think about the juxtaposition of the modernity of the ideas with tradition that we have here. And is that not a metaphor for what this conference is about? Because this conference is about the blending of the rich tradition and culture and history of India with new business models that exist. And Wharton also is a blend of the old and the new. Wharton is the first collegiate business school in the world and has been associated with some of the big innovations, including modern portfolio theory, which is at the root of all financial research, but also Taylor, who did the principles of scientific management, time motion studies, was also part of the Wharton School. Wharton is the most published business school in the world with a commitment to new idea generation. We also have about 100,000 living alumni because of our large undergraduate and master's population. But more than that, I think, is the community of alumni, and we are only as good as people who have been part of our community. And it is with great pride that I look in this hall and look at the community that wants to interact with the Wharton School, but also Wharton as a crossroads, leading people in the world of central banking, in the world of startups, in the world of big business houses have all been part of the Wharton community in the last 50 and 60 years here in India. And Wharton actually was admitting students from India at a much faster pace than many of the leading business schools in the world. It is also my distinct honor to share the stage with Mr. Adi Godrej. Your leadership of the Godrej Group is a matter of great pride, and it is something that is admired worldwide. And I, as a founding faculty member of the Indian School of Business, had the privilege of seeing firsthand Mr. Godrej's commitment to education and to really ensure that India would have a world-class business school. And I also think it's a matter of great pride that Mr. Godrej is a Wharton parent twice over, with Nisa and Pirojsha both having done their undergraduate degree at the Wharton School. And I cherish my moments with Mr. Godrej when we meet and talk about the Indian School of Business. But isn't that not another metaphor for Wharton and its commitment to India, and really for the fact that it's about innovation takes place through communities and through new ways of thinking, but it leverages history and it leverages the culture and it leverages the scale of India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Professor Singh.